We start in Chicago. It's the Colts at the Bears right now on pregame.com. Indy is a 2.5-point favorite.
Oh, that means Fez has this pick.
And I'm on the Bears here. Indy is overrated. Indy's 2-1. Who have they played? Look at the strength of schedule. Jacksonville, Minnesota, and oh my goodness, the Jets. So Colts overrated based upon the cupcake schedule they've had. I'm on the Bears.
Yeah, but just because they play weak teams doesn't mean they're not any good. Their stats are the best in the league. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
So if you have the best stats in the league and you play a weak schedule, how do you know you're still not the best team?
It's possible. You don't.
All right. Not very convincing. I'll give you one more thing. Bears, they're the third team in 30 years to be 3-0 and a home dog against a team that's not undefeated. So wait a minute. Two other teams in 30 years. Are we saying the Colts are historically good as a non-undefeated team? No. Are we saying the Bears are historically bad as a 3-0 team? They're bad as a 3-0 team, not historically bad. This line's out of whack. I agree with your pick. Your analysis, not so much.
We move to Carolina, where the Cardinals are in town, taking on the Panthers. Arizona's a 3-point favorite.
To me, the question with Carolina, and this is a game I don't have a great feel for. In some games, you just don't. The question with Carolina is, how much was last week about McCaffrey being out and everyone kind of rallying around to, not be winless? And I liked Carolina. It was a good pick. I'm just not sure. You think NFL teams are typically motivated, but I don't know with Carolina with an eye towards the future if it's motivation now or are they trying to build a culture, and sometimes those things don't go together. So nothing great on that game. I'm skeptical of Carolina's effort week to week because I'm not sure. I don't want to say they're tanking. They got their eye on the future.
It's the Jaguars at the Bengals, and it feels like this is the first time we've said this in a while. Cincinnati is favored by 2.5.
And I'm on Jacksonville taking the points here. Great spot for Jacksonville. 10 days to prepare. They played Thursday night game last week. And look at the Bengals. Not only a full, tough physical game against the Eagles, 10 minutes of overtime exerted as well. I'm on Jacksonville.
Okay, this is my prop bet of the century involving a running back. Well, I don't know. I love under. What do we think with the Bengals? What do we think the over-under will be on this for rushing?
For Mixon, I saw 77 yards.
Okay, so it's already out. All right, so 77 yards. I love the under, and here's why. Cincy has had no propensity to run. They've been throwing Burrow like crazy, and Jacksonville has a sneaky good run defense, like shockingly sneaky good. I love under Mixon.
The Cowboys are hosting the Browns right now on pregame.com. Dallas is a 4.5-point favorite.
And I'm going to give you another pick here. This is a pick-palooza kind of deal. I like the Browns in the second half, so halftime bet, if they're not losing by a touchdown or more. So if they're losing by 7 or more, no bet. But if they're not, Dallas is one of these 26-minute defenses, meaning they're thin, they're not physically all that big, and once they get to that second half and past 26 minutes of playing D, and remember, they've been out time of possession, Dallas, every game this season. They really struggle. Now, if the Browns have to have Baker Mayfield throwing from behind, I want no part of it. But if Cleveland's able to run, I think with the physical backs, physical line, Dallas being a defense that wears down, could be a big second half if the Browns are in the right spot. What do you think of that one, Fez?
Yeah, I like it, especially because Rams, Atlanta, Seattle, every one of Dallas's games comes down to the wire. That defense probably has used up a whole lot of energy already this year.
That's a good point. You want to make that one of your 7 picks, or?
No, I'm good with it.
Okay.
It's a battle of winless teams in Houston, where the Texans are hosting the Vikings right now. The Texans are 3.5-point favorites.
And I'll lay the 3.5 with Houston. This is all about the 2 days of practice that Minnesota loses. Remember, this is a Minnesota team down now 7 starters on defense. So this team really needs the practice time with the younger players. Without it, advantage Houston.
I agree with that. And here's my rationale. We know Kirk Cousins, and Jonas was part of our research on this. Cousins loves routine. When he starts at 1 Eastern, he's outstanding. Over 60% covers. When it's not 1 Eastern, 33% covers. Well, wait, it's 1 Eastern this game. Yeah, but what's more disruptive, playing at 4 or having a COVID scare and missing multiple practices? I think that is not the ultimate in disruption, but a lot of disruption. One other thing about Minnesota, they are running the heck out of the ball. 3 games, now 4.0 yards per carry is average. They had 1 game that was a little bit over that, 1 game that was 2 yards over that, 6 yards a carry, and 1 game that was 6.8 yards a carry. Minnesota can run. So we'll see what it means in this game. But, man, for as bad as they've played, Minnesota can run.
So now we go to Maryland, where the Ravens are on the road taking on Washington. And right now, Baltimore is a 14-point favorite.
By the way, Fez, in the prior game, my best bet by the end of the hour, Tampa Bay Chargers. You got that game?
I do.
Oh, continue.
All right, I'm on plus 14 in Washington. Washington a little bit underrated because of the game last week. They lost by 14 points, Washington did, against Cleveland. But it was all turnovers, -5 in turnovers. The yardage was equal in that game, getting a 14-point head start. I'm on Washington plus 14.
Oh, finally, not one of my picks. So how bad is this? Here's what you need to know about Baltimore. When they don't play an elite team, so let's define elite teams as playoff teams they play and Kansas City so far. And we can debate, but didn't they beat New England last year? Yeah, true enough. But maybe let's just look at the last 12 games. And this is before Kansas City. Baltimore outscored their opponent against the spread. So we call this ATS margin. So what's the spread? How much better do you do is a plus number, worse is a minus. They literally had a plus 15 points per game. Where the spread was here, they were 15 points better, Baltimore, over the dozen games before. The second best team was less than 5 points per game. So imagine, second is 5. You triple that, that's Baltimore plus 15. Fez, you've never seen that, have you?
No, it's
out. It's on. Harbaugh is a bully, and that's fine. I mean, if you like bullies, like Harbaugh. But to me, when they can bully a team, especially after a loss, they're going to bully a team.
Another big favorite sees the Rams, 13.5-point favorites hosting the Giants. It's at 13.5, RJ, right now on pregame.com.
To me, I think you got to keep in mind who the Rams have played. The Rams have had a tough run of it. I mean, even though Philadelphia, you can say now isn't all that good, a road game at Philly was not easy. The Buffalo game was not easy, especially with the big comeback and then losing at the end. And obviously the Dallas game was not easy. So you got 3 wars, you could say. And now you're going and you're a big favorite against a team that's winless. Yeah, Rams are probably going to win the game. In the NFL, there has to be a reason for teams to get margin, or it happens accidentally. And it happens accidentally sometimes, but for the most part, the value on the underdog is the hope that the favorite isn't motivated for margin. I don't think the Rams are motivated for margin.
Patriots at the Chiefs. KC is a 7-point favorite.
If you think about Belichick, who I consider to be a football genius, Belichick will exploit your weaknesses. Another way to say it is he'll make you play left-handed. What do you want to do? Okay, we're going to make sure you can't do that. Now what? Raiders, they got their best situated, go to the tight end kind of thing. Can't do that. Now what? Nothing. They're done. Most teams are not multifaceted. Most teams are not multiple. Belichick almost wins those games before the game is played. Kansas City is. They can run. They can pass. They can pass different ways. Andy Reid might be the only coach in the NFL, I think, schematically equal or better than Belichick. I think Belichick's a better coach, but if you just look at X's and O's, Andy Reid's right there. Thus, it's going to be about the players on the field, the Joes, not the X's and O's. And because of that, I do not like the Pats. Now, for me, I don't bet against them because Belichick covers like 60% of the time. This is a rare game. The team is multiple enough they're playing that I'm scared for the Pats.
Fez's new favorite player, Josh Allen, and the Bills are in town taking on the Raiders. Right now, Buffalo, a 3-point favorite.
Oh, no way.
And I'm on Josh Allen, laying the 3.
Boomerang.
And this is all about
Look out.
not just backing Josh Allen, but fading the Raiders. Now, how do the Raiders?
Oh, yeah.
How do the Raiders cover? They got a bad defense, but they have a good offense. But that offense, I don't think it's going to be very good with their top 2 wide receivers out, rookies Edwards and Ruggs not playing. I don't think they'll be able to keep pace.
The top 2 wide receivers are rookies.
Yes. Well, Williams was their number 1 receiver, but he went out for the year before the year started.
That's it.
That's it.
I don't even have any comment. I mean, I guess I will. I mean, Josh Allen. All right. I'll give you something on Josh Allen, and it is pretty amazing. Josh Allen, his 3 biggest passing games his entire career were this year. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3. Think about that. You play 32 games. Then your 33rd, your 34th, and your 35th, not counting the playoffs, literally are your 3 best. And if you look at the Raiders, this is a team that literally has been outgained every game this year. So as much as give Gruden credit for some of those wins, it really hasn't been statistically all that great.
And finally, we go to Sunday Night Football, where the Eagles are at the 49ers. San Fran, a 7-point favorite.
There's a concept, and remember, I liked the Giants last week against San Fran, so I didn't think this applied. But there's a concept which is when a player or key players are out, the other professional level players step up. They say, we got to pick up the pace. It's almost like if your dad went away and was on a business trip. It was like the oldest boy took out the garbage, cut the grass. It's time to be the man of the house. Or these B-level players step up and become A-level players. But you know what happens when they play well? Everyone says, woo, they don't even need those guys. And then the other players say, woo, we did it. We did it. And then you know what? The opponent says, oh, man, we better not take that team lightly. It's all factors that actually point to go against that team that did shockingly well the next week. I don't know about Philadelphia. The reality is, if you look at Carson Wentz, he's like the worst in passer rating, worst in touchdown to interception ratio. I mean, it's like something seems wrong. So I'm not sure I'm taking the Eagles, but I think San Fran's a little overrated here because they stepped up so much last week and the natural drop-off that comes with it.
So, RJ, that concludes our preview of every game, but we do have a couple of best